Hi, I'm Jo from JHLeather and welcome to the video tutorial to go with our DIY card holder leather kit. Let's get started. So included in your kit is everything you need to get your card holder together and get using it. So that includes the leather components required, some stain and some clear edge finish. You'll also have a wool dauber to apply them with. You will have 2 needles, a length of thread, some sandpaper and a small rag to polish the edges of your leather. So there will be one tool that you do need from home, and that will be either a pair of scissors or some sewing nips to cut the ends of your thread once you have finished your stitching. Another optional tool would be a standard pair of pliers to help you pull the needles through your leather if you are having difficulties. So you will also need a small pot of water. So now we've gone through the contents of the kit, we can get started putting our card holder together. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our staining pot and stain the top edges of each of our components. So that is going to be the edge where there are no holes punched through. Once you've applied your stain, you can then use your polishing rag and just polish those edges till they're nice and shiny. Now clean your wool dauber in your water pot. Now we've done that, we've got to thread our needle. So with our length of thread, we're going to have one needle on either end. So what we're going to do is lock these in place so they don't come off whilst we're stitching. To do that, we're going to put about 1 inch of the thread through the eye, and then we're going to create a bit of an S shape and push the needle through the thread and then pull this down the length of the needle, and that will lock our thread onto the needle. Now we're going to want to do that with both needles, and once we've done that, we can then pick up the 2 main pieces, so the 2 larger pieces of our card holder, and we want to put them back to back, so we've got the nice side facing out. So now we want to pick up our threaded needles and we're going to put the thread through the top hole of our case. So once you've done that, you're then going to want to level up your threads, and to start with we're going to do 1 stitch over the edge of our card holder. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 1 needle at a time, and we're going to go over the top edge and up through the hole, and then the same with the other needle, and we've then created our first stitch, and you can pull that tight. So to stitch the rest of our card holder, what we're going to do is just go in and out each of the holes one at a time with our threads. So we're going to start and go down through one hole and then up through the same hole with the other needle. And we're going to do that all the way around until we get to the end of our case. So once you've done the first 4 stitches, you're going to want to start stitching in the 2 smaller pockets. So just line them up with the bottom and then continue stitching in and out of each hole along the rest of the card holder. So if you want, you can use the pliers at this point to help pull your needles through the leather. And now we've reached the end of our stitching, we're going to want to do 1 stitch over the edge, just so both sides of our card holder are matching. So once we've done our stitch over the edge, we want to do 1.5 back stitches. Now this is going to lock our threads in place, and it's also going to make sure that both our needles are on the same side of our card holder. So we're going to go backwards for 1 full stitch, and then we're going to pick one of our needles and push that through to the other side, so both of our threads are now on the same side of our card holder. Now we've done that, what we want to do is pull your threads nice and tight, and then with your scissors or nips, cut your thread as close to your card holder as you can. So now we have finished stitching our card holder, we want to start doing some finishing touches. So what we're going to do is, with our sandpaper, we are now going to sand the 3 edges where we have our stitch lines. Now the reason we don't want to sand the top edge is because we don't want to damage that stitch that is gone over the edge of our card holder. So the reason for sanding the edges is that we're going to even up all the layers of our card holder, and it's going to give us a nice finish when we then go on and restain our card holder. Now all our edges are level, we can go back to our stain pot and stain the remaining 3 edges of our card holder. We want to leave that stain just for a little bit, just to set in, and then we can use our rag and just polish those edges. Now you can do this a couple of times if you would like, just to get a good stain and a nice polished edge to your card holder. You now want to clean and dry your wool dauber with some tissue. So now we've finished staining our card holder, what we want to do is use the clear edge finish and coat that around the outer edge of our card holder. Now what this is going to do is protect the edge stain that we've just put on from leaching out if it gets wet, and it's also going to make our edges nice and shiny. So we want to put a nice coat of this on, and you can put 2 coats on if you want to. What we need to do though is wait for a few minutes in between for the coats to dry. So that is it. You have just completed your first leather project, and you have yourself a nice leather card holder that will last you years and years. All there is to do now is pop your cards in and some cash and head on out. So that is it for this video. If you like the video, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe for more videos and tutorials, and I'll see you in the next episode.